Well, it's been about 5 months since Kingdom Hearts 3 has been released, so let's see how people feel about it now. Wow, the gameplay is so
Dude,
bad.
this game was so easy. Like, what happened?
Has
no good endgame time. Like every other game.
It's probably the better game in the series.
It took way too long.
I see it still a dumpster fire. I'll come back to it at the end of the year. And because Square Enix made Kingdom Hearts and it has Disney in it, and I don't want to be on Square Enix's bad side, I'm going to say nothing but good things about Kingdom Hearts 1 and make this video PG. You know what? Never mind. Fuck it. So if you haven't watched the Birth by Sleep video, I'd highly recommend you watch that, then come back to this video. Kingdom Hearts 1 does two things differently: experience progression / experience gain, and their abilities. We all know how experience works in video games. Yeah, you kill a thing, that thing will give you a base amount of experience. Depending on your level, it will depend on how fast or slow you level up. With Kingdom Hearts 1, they take that general idea, but they replaced it with one of those online personality quizzes. You'll talk with these 3 characters that are straight from Final Fantasy, and they'll ask you questions and they'll end up ridiculing you no matter what your answer is. Yes, friendship is important to me, Selphie, you little bitch. Depending on your answers, it will dictate the progression / gain of your experience. The last thing Kingdom Hearts 1 does weird is the abilities. You need to pick either the sword, staff, or shield, as I want to call the shield the friend zone shield, and these will dictate what abilities you'll get and what levels you get them. Links in the description for ability stuff. You end up fighting this big shadow and then you wake up from the dream. Yes, this was just one big tutorial. Welcome to Destiny Islands, where we meet our main characters Sora, Riku, and Kairi. Now while you're on Destiny Islands, you'll collect provisions for the raft to prepare to set sail, fight Titus and his wooden rod. That doesn't seem safe. Fight Waka with his blitzball. You could get a concussion, but alright. Fight Selphie with her skip rope. Where are your parents?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Race Riku to see who can name the raft. And then meet a random guy in a cloak in the corner of a cave. Totally not a character that plays any important role to the plot whatsoever, I promise you. This ball of darkness shows up and Riku goes on a speech about not being afraid of the dark. Sora gets the Keyblade. Still not entirely sure how this happened. There are like 2 possibilities, but I don't know which one is canon. I forgot to mention Kairi phases into Sora and then...
Sora! Dinner's ready! Come on down! Sora?
So, at this point, the plot has shifted to finding Riku and Kairi, finding the Princesses of Heart, and then sealing the keyholes of each world to stop them falling in the darkness. Sounds pretty simple, right? You tend to revisit Traverse Town quite often. When you first get there, you're looking around for Riku and Kairi, but you can't find them. You end up fighting Leon, and whether you win or lose, this fight doesn't really matter. He ends up giving you an item before you leave this Traverse Town anyways. You'll wake up after fighting Leon in this room. You go fight this boss, and then funny faces. On your second visit Traverse Town, Sid wants you to go and return this book to Merlin. This is the same book from Birth by Sleep with the command boards. Meet the fairy godmother and you learn about summons. Riku shows up and he ends up being jealous and sides with Maleficent, primarily to find Kairi. You fight the reverse armor and then seal the keyhole. You visit Traverse Town one more time, but that's at the end of the game, so we'll talk about that when we get there. Introducing the Gummy Ship Kingdom Hearts 1 edition. The Gummy Ship section is pretty bad in Kingdom Hearts 1. It was probably good back when it first came out, but now it's pretty dated. Not necessarily talking about the Gummy Ship creation, because I still have no idea how the shit works. The Gummy Ship gameplay is basically this. And maybe you'll move periodically to avoid getting hit by either enemies or terrain. Early on, when you want to revisit worlds, you need to go through this every fucking time. Meaning, if you're in Deep Jungle and you want to go back to Traverse Town, you need to go back to Wonderland or Olympus Coliseum, go through this process, get into the world, land, go back to the map, choose Traverse Town, and do it all over again. It's really annoying. Thankfully, you end up getting a warp drive so you can instantly warp to worlds you've already visited and don't need to go through this hell constantly. Wonderland is a weird one since there's literally nothing normal about it. There are a lot of places in this world that can be accessed in pretty odd ways, like pushing a boulder into a pond to lift up this lily pad, giving a flower a potion so you can get big to hit this tree, or jumping on a stump to elevate a lily pad, or even going into a fucking painting. Wonderland is just a representation of LSD. The entire first half of Wonderland is about getting evidence to prove that Alice is innocent of trying to steal the Queen's heart. Spoiler alert, it's the Heartless. There's a total of 4 evidence, and if you get all of them, the Cheshire Cat will give you a blizzard. After you get all the evidence, you end up going to court and proving your innocence by picking the right box. I have 4 evidence to your 1. There's no way I can pick the wrong one.
Excuse me, what the fuck?
Alice seemingly disappears. The Cheshire Cat explains that the shadows took her, light up a couple candles, and go and do a boss fight. Aim for the groin, or don't, keyhole. Olympus Coliseum is different from the other worlds since it's literally only here for you to participate in the games and grind levels if you want to. You'll unlock this keyhole here after finishing the Phil, Pegasus, and Hercules Cup. You fight Cloud because he was being tricked by Hades, and also Cerberus. And you also fight He Who Shall Not Be Named as a secret boss, and
what a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night.
Deep Jungle is my #1 most hated world in Kingdom Hearts 1. It does this thing where it doesn't give you many hints as to where you're supposed to go. It'll give you maybe 1 hint that you can understand and that's it. Hell, even this makes no sense to me. Just how do you manage to notice that? Hello? Until this day, I always forget where to go since I never know when I'm supposed to return to the tent and then exit it, starting a cutscene when the Heartless show up and you need to save the gorillas. I don't remember where most of them are located. Why is Clayton a douche? I have no idea.
Not Clayton.
You do fight Clayton as the boss fight, and it kind of has 2 phases. The first phase is when you fight Clayton by himself, but after you finish that, this giant chameleon Heartless shows up. You don't need to defeat the Heartless, just beat up Clayton and then you win. Kerchak will yeet you on this ledge. And then you enter the cave that has the shittiest camera angle I've ever seen. It couldn't possibly get worse. Agrabah has Deep Jungle Syndrome, where it only gives you 1 vague hint and that's it. You're on your own. You end up wandering around the place until a cutscene happens from you randomly looking around, and then boom, cutscene. There are pretty sure 4 boss fights in Agrabah. While looking around for Jasmine, the cutscene starts up where she's seemingly trapped inside the centipede pot. Spider, Heartless thing, yeah, sure, why not? If you want to be like me, attack it like this, but that by all means go ahead. It isn't effective, but it's the way. The Cave of Wonders is a shit boss fight. Whoever thought this was a good idea, I hope you have a bad day. They thought it was a good idea to make a boss fight where you either climb on its neck to get to its face, or wait for him to put his stupid face in the sand. If you try to take the neck route, he will constantly shake around, making it impossible to get on his neck, until he's done having a tantrum. Just when you think you're good, nope! Just let me on your fucking neck, you cat fuck. Oh. And you also need to aim for his eyes, where you have a possibility to fall off and go through the neck process all over again. I wanna die. Now the Cave of Wonders leads into the final boss fight, where all you really need to do is come down here and break this pillar, and a cutscene will appear showing you where you need to go. You end up fighting Jafar 2 times. First fight, stop running from me, you little bitch! Second fight, you don't really fight Jafar, you actually attack Iago, carrying his lamp, doing Peter's dirty work. And it just so happens that Jasmine ends up seemingly disappearing. First Alice, now Jasmine, then we had Snow White, Cinderella, and Aurora from Birth by Sleep. Maybe it's just a coincidence, I don't know. This world sucks. Literally, every room looks the same. I'm inside the bowels of a goddamn space whale, where each room is the same fucking color. The bowels just have a different number, but it's all the same. I've managed to remember which way to go, but good god, this is horrible. Riku steals a puppet child, you fight an intestine Heartless, and what do you gain from it? You get to jump higher. You get the Keyblade from here later on in Traverse Town, and we're moving on. Oh no. Oh fuck. Welcome to Atlantica. Probably the worst world I've ever been to in a Kingdom Hearts game. They somehow made it worse in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Swing this way, we'll dance and we'll play. It's very easy, come on and just take a shake of faith.
Let the music move you. You can do it.
Don't be shy, let the music inside and dance, dance, dance.
We'll get to that later. This world is the epitome of underwater levels, and I hate it. This is why people hate that. This is why people hate to play video games that have underwater levels. What? In Atlantica, you don't have your combos, so you only have like a 3 to 4 hit string. You need to manage your elevating and descending somehow, and it's complete butt cheeks. You eventually get to a point where you need to ride this dolphin, but I can never remember when I need to ride the dolphin. Even when I do find the dolphin, Heartless will appear, and I can't ride it until I defeat all the Heartless, and then end up waiting for the dolphin to show up again. You need to ride the dolphin 2 times. The first time is going to the sunken ship to get this Trident piece where King Trident ends up destroying it because he's an overprotective dad. Good parenting. Second time is when you need to find Ursula's lair and then do the first boss fight against her. These things look weird. What the hell? The first boss fight is really just using magic on her cauldron until it explodes, knocks her and her eels out, and you can beat her up. Repeat this process until you win. To get to the second boss fight, you have to go back to this heavy current area, and it's right across from where you are. You go in there, you fight Big Ursula, and all you need to do is hit her fatty neck until you win. This is Halloween, the best world in the game. Don't at me, don't at me, don't at me, don't at me. No, I'm serious. This is my favorite world in Kingdom Hearts 1. It's probably because The Nightmare Before Christmas is one of my favorite movies. I'm kinda biased there. The entire time you're here, you're helping Dr. Finkelstein create a heart. You need to collect these varying items to create it. This heart eventually gets stolen by Lock, Shock, and Barrel and taken to Oogie Boogie. When you end up going to this tower building thing, you have a possibility of falling off, and you need to ride the tub with legs to get back on the building, but it's like the dolphin all over again where you need to defeat Heartless before you go into the tub.
Huh?
Fighting these 3 isn't that hard. It doesn't really matter what order you beat them, you just... Oh wait, this is Child Abuse. You end up fighting Oogie Boogie 2 times. The first fight, you need to land on the right button where Oogie is going to be located in. You only have a certain amount of time to beat him up until he knocks you away. You keep doing this till you win. The second fight is when he becomes the house itself. That's honestly a really cool boss fight, I like it. You need to attack these darkness warts on him and destroy them. For some reason it took me a while to finish this because I couldn't find the last one. So you remember that cave in Deep Jungle with the shitty camera angle? Apparently, they thought that camera angle was so shitty, they thought it'd be a good idea to put that in Neverland. You find Riku working with the Heartless and Captain Hook, you found Kairi, you end up meeting up with Peter Pan, and you decide to help him find Wendy. Once he finds Wendy, he just leaves. You fight your own shadow, you end up walking the plank, you fight Hook, and then somehow get to the clock tower. Yeah. Warning! From this point on, there are a lot of plot-heavy cutscenes, so you've been warned. Hollow Bastion is by far the maziest of mazes, but when you first get here, this happens.
But it all ends here. There can't be 2 Keyblade Masters.
What are you talking about?
Let the Keyblade choose. Its true master. Maleficent was right. You don't have what it takes to save Kairi.
After Donald and Goofy leave you, you end up having only Beast in your party since you can't fight the Heartless since you're stuck with a wooden sword now. You need to have Beast become your stand. You need to open up that door, which requires you to go down here and do some maze stuff, which will open up the door. You go back to the door, open it up. Once the door is opened, you get a boss fight and another plot-related cutscene.
I know now I don't need the Keyblade. I've got a better weapon. My heart!
Your heart? What good will that weak little thing do for you?
Although my heart may be weak, it's not alone. It's grown with each new experience, and it's found a home with all the friends I've made. I've become part of their heart just as they've become a part of mine. And if they think of me now and then, if they don't forget me, then our hearts will be one. I don't need a weapon. My friends are my power.
Riku runs away, complaining about how he had the Keyblade. Oh hey, it's that cloaked figure from earlier. That totally isn't plot related.
It's really quite simple. Open yourself to the darkness. That is all. Let your heart, your being, become darkness itself.
Okay, maybe he is plot related. You need to find the pieces to this door to open it up, which are in these locations. You go to the library to do a library puzzle. You end up fighting Maleficent 2 times. The first fight is with Maleficent. You need to dodge these death meteors, avoid the Heartless, or kill them if you want. Attack her floating rock until it falls down, and then start hitting her. Repeat until you defeat her. Show her back of safety, and Riku stabs her with his Keyblade, turning her into a dragon. And then you fight Dragon Maleficent. Apparently, there's a speedrun tactic to beat her, but I'm stubborn and don't care. Yeah, you'll make your way up to this area where we do a boss fight. This boss fight, the boss fight on Kingdom Hearts 1 on the original PS2, this was a really hard boss fight. Like, I don't know why, but it was difficult. And you replay it on the HD collection, it's just a cakewalk. It's fucking crazy, right? And then Sora dies.
Maybe we gotta go wake Kairi up.
I think you're right. If we can free her heart. But how? A Keyblade that unlocks people's hearts. I wonder.
Sora? Sora! Hold on!
I know, I made this scene more lighthearted than it needed to be. I actually cried when this happened. No matter how many times I replay Kingdom Hearts 1, this always tears me up. Also, why is this shadow so cute? I don't understand. I just want to hug it and have a plushie. Can I get I'm gonna buy a Heartless plushie now. Damn it. You make it back to Donald, Goofy, and Kairi, and then you're brought back with the power of a friendship hug thing. Yeah. I don't understand that either. Something about Kairi's light and then him finding it, I guess. Sure, why not? I don't understand either. This is where you last visit Traverse Town. You need to get a gummy block that'll help you go back to Hollow Bastion since it's swarming with Heartless. Currently, you get the block by going down in this waterway, which is also where you get the Oath Keeper from Kairi. Unfortunately, you can't just warp back to Hollow Bastion, so you gotta go through this hell again. And when you come back to Hollow Bastion, you go back where you fought Riku Ansem, or I guess Ansem, like, maybe, I don't know, and go into the heart, fight off some Heartless, steal the keel from inside of it, and then next up is the final world, the End of World. Great name, I know. In my opinion, it's just one big Heartless wave killing up until you fight this guy. I forgot his name. I think he's from Fantasia. I could be wrong. I think he's from Fantasia, though. So far, almost every main plot boss has 2 phases. Ansem over here wants to be special and have 3. Well, one of them you end up fighting this big boy, so I guess it's 3.5? 2.5 maybe? I don't know. Now in the first phase you fight Ansem with Donald and Goofy. You beat him, he retreats. On the second half you fight him alone, but he does do the same moveset during the first phase, so it's really nothing that different. Now the last phase is what I like to call Dick Boat Ansem. It's understandable. He's a giant dick boat. It's a phallic boat, what do you want from me? This final fight is really annoying and I hated every second of it. Aside from being a dick boat, he has a laser light show that'll start up if you get anywhere near him. And he also spawns Heartless if you get too close. You have to rescue Donald and Goofy, and then you'll eventually be able to beat him, and then long, never-ending cutscene.
It is futile. The Keyblade alone cannot seal the door to darkness. Kingdom Hearts! Fill me with the power of darkness! Supreme darkness!
You're wrong. I know now, without a doubt. Kingdom Hearts is light.
Light! But why?
on!
Whoa!
Stop staring and keep pushing! Huh? Hurry!
I can't.
Don't give up! Come on, Sora! Together we can do it!
Okay.
It's hopeless!
Oh?
Huh?
Your Majesty!
Now, Sora, let's close this door for good.
Close it quick!
But
Don't worry. There will always be a door to the light.
Sora, you can trust King Mickey.
Now! They're coming!
Donald, Goofy, thank you.
Take care of her.
Kyrie!
Sora!
Kyrie! Remember what you said before? I'm always with you too. I'll come back to you. I promise!
I know you will!